Hello, World Tank Blitzers. It's Littlefinger. It is Friday, June 7th, and it's time for another store review. I skipped last week just because there really wasn't anything new in the store to talk about. But now we're into June, the 10-year anniversary of Blitz. We've got the season 4. They're even calling it the anniversary event. We've been here, you've seen this, you know how this works. I shouldn't have to really do much to describe that. So I'm just gonna jump into the store. Jump to the top here. The Type 5 Kari here, which I believe is a Tier 8 tank destroyer in crates. If you hang with me, hopefully I'll get enough likes and new subscribers out of this video. At the end of this, I'm gonna go ahead and open 10 containers. Don't recommend it, only a 5% drop chance. New tank, don't know anything about it. However, I'm sitting at 88, almost 89,000 gold. Really don't have anything to spend it on, so I'm gonna go ahead and spend that gold. And we'll see together what happens with those containers. Scrolling on down, I'm gonna talk about the tanks in the tank section. The Lotto Machine here, you should have somewhere within here a place to open a free one. And basically, on the live stream towards the end of June, they're gonna pull the lucky ball, or I'm not exactly sure how it works. And you're gonna get a varying degree of gold or other items based upon the balls that they draw during the event. You can get them from various amount here. So just, you know, I mean, I don't even know how the event works. I'm not even gonna speculate on whether or not it's worth purchasing them, to be honest with you guys. Let's just scroll down here to the tank section. There we go. The Storming, 15,000 gold, which means you're getting each of these tanks for 7,500, which includes a tier 9, which gives you a good price per dollar. I've only played this tank 10 times with an 80% win rate. It is a nice heavy tank. Not sure why I haven't played it more. I got the Ace Mastery and probably got disinterested in it. Checking out some of the numbers, damage per minute 2295 with a 7 degrees of gun depression, which is not too bad, and a 40 kilometer per hour top speed. You've got some nice rounded and steep armor on this tank as well. And then the Object 274, I've played over 50 battles in this tank, and I like it. We're gonna see another tank that's for sale a little bit later. That has more heavily armor, it's a little bit slower. This one fits all of those categories for me and what I like in a medium tank. I like that mobility, a little bit of armor, but you're not gonna rely on the armor in this tank. So 2,100 damage per minute is not bad. 7 degrees of gun depression, and there's at 55 kilometers per hour as your top speed. So from what you're getting out of this, it's not a bad deal. You can buy them individually. Certainly stay away from the cash one here. Let's see what they're doing. 75, because I think I saw one for 10,000. That's for the Object 452. So again, I would recommend buying them in the pack together there. And we've got Devastating Wave here, which includes the Lorraine 40T. And since I just mentioned it, the Type 59. So this is a little bit slower, more heavily armed medium tank. Sometimes I feel like the pen on the gun is not great. Yeah, you can brawl a little bit more with this tank than say another tank, but to me the detriment there is you've got a lower damage per minute and you've got less mobility. It says 56 kilometers per hour, but to me this tank just takes too long to get up to speed. Power to weight ratio, not good. And then the unique tank that goes with this is Lorraine. I've talked about this tank before. Yes, it is a medium. It is big. It does not have much armor to speak of. And the unique thing about this tank is the 4-shell autoloader. So you've got 1920 damage per minute, but with an autoloader, that really depends on your ability to maximize your shells in the magazine. And what I find with a tank like this, when you've got 2.5 seconds between shells, you're gonna sometimes not be able to wait that full 10 seconds to unload that clip. So you're put in a little bit different of spot of having to decide with 1 or 2 shells. Let's say the magazine, should I go ahead and force a reload right now, wait out that 20-second, and be ready with 4 shells in the magazine? You've got 8 degrees of gun depression and a very healthy 60 kilometers per hour as your top speed. So that also helps as far as being able to relocate when you are on that reload. For 9,000 for both of these tanks, not a bad deal, but just keep in mind, depends on your playstyle on the Type 59. It's not one of my favorite or really highly recommended medium tanks, but that's my playstyle. We are looking at the Chieftain, and I believe you can get this for 8,500 gold, which I think is a high price. The only thing I can see here is the attachment must be why they've jacked the price up. This tank, to me, really, if you're spending 75 or above, that's too much. I'd like to see it below this tank. Just a fairly average heavy tank, the British play style with their more of a high firing, fast reloading gun. You've got that nice 2453 damage per minute, and you've got a nice 10 degrees of gun depression, and 40 kilometers per hour. But again, that reload time of 5.5 seconds means that you've got to get on target and be a little bit more exposed than normal. The Object 260 looks like it's still for sale for a few more days. 20,000 gold. I think this is a little bit expensive for this tank. One of the weaker tier 10 heavy tanks. Really have to know how to play that one well. And then the M60 Rocketeer, not recommending this for the price. The camo is quite interesting. It is just your general M60, which is an all-around American tank at tier 10. The nice thing here, with the, whatever they're calling the screens here as part of the event, that might help you get further along in your free tank event at the top. We've got fast and accurate for 13.5. So this is coming in under the 7,000 per gold per tank, which is a good deal. And I really like the HWK 30. Light tank, great mobility. As you can see, concealment in movement. That's the light tank trait, that you can be moving and you're not spotted as easily. So what do I want to see here? Speed on this, 70 kilometers per hour. It's got a really accurate gun. You've got 10 degrees of gun depression. Of course, you don't have any armor on it, but look at this, 2259 damage per minute before you even put any equipment. I really do enjoy playing this tank. So I think this tank alone is worth it. The AMX30 here, to me, just a mediocre medium tank. It does have this sloped armor, which you may get a few bounces of if you've got it angled back using your gun depression, but just over 2,000 damage per minute. It's got 10 degrees of gun depression of 58 kilometers per hour. It does have a nice accurate gun. That's pretty standard on the French guns. So I think this is probably the best bundle right now out there. Fits my playstyle. If you're more of a heavy tank or TD player, it may not be right for you, but you can see they're selling these for 85 each. So keep that in mind. So yeah, I was really wanted to just keep this as quick as possible. Perhaps I should do it now. I did receive a comment on why I'm using the 650 gold per dollar amount. So where that comes from, in my opinion here, if you look at being able to buy your gold, let's just take this one here, 54,000 gold, and then you divide it by the price that you pay for that gold, you end up with 635. Let's take the 75,000, and if you divide that by 110, you get 681. So I'm looking at getting a deal somewhere in between here. As you go further down, the deal gets less. So let's look at 6,500 gold, and we divide that by $11, it's only 590 gold. So if we just set a price here, because this is part of, in my opinion, the deception of having dollars and gold in the store, is you just kind of lose track of what's the better deal. So as always, you can do that comparison, and you know that, hey, if I can find a deal where I can buy gold for more than 650, even 600 maybe, you know you're getting a good deal on buying the gold that you can then later use for a tank that you want to buy. You can also use that same math if you see a tank for sale for 40, what was that one, 40 gold, and we multiply that 650, that's 26,000 gold. So just keep that in mind when you go through the store and buying gold. So I did promise you that I would drop the 15,000 gold for crates. So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll see what happens here. What I'm really hoping for, the free XP certificates are nice. However, the gold is what we're looking for. So, got 500 gold back there. 1,500 gold, and hey, look, we got the tank. I have been extremely lucky with these containers. I will throw that out there. So now we'll just see how much of that gold we can get back with the remaining containers. And remember, we started right under 89,000 gold. I'd like to see one of those mega containers or whatever they're called, because there was a lot of stuff, this massive container. All right, guys, so now we've kind of hit the jackpot here. We'll see what we get out of that massive container as well. We've got 2 more to go. It seems like we've done fairly well with the gold boosters as well. Except I usually don't use gold boosters. All right, so as you saw, we did really well there. That was, I would say, pretty lucky. Right now we're sitting at 76, so it cost me 13,000. But we do know that if we go down here, we should have a container to open. And as you can see, this has a lot of tanks in it. We ended up with the Hawk 30 here, a mystery container. I was hoping to get some gold out of that, but that's okay. Let's see what we got in exchange for, I'm gonna postpone that for now. So we got 3,750 gold. So we're sitting at 80,000. So the tank cost, a little bit, around 9,000 for the gold. So at the end of the day, even with getting as lucky as I did, the tank really sits kind of, I'm okay with that price for the tank. So we'll get it out there. We'll get you an idea of what it plays like. And of course, guys, have fun out there. Stay safe, get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.